What are you looking at this week?
Well, funny thing, Paul. Very much the same as I was looking at last week, and I'll just share that with you very, very briefly. If I can share. Hello, here we go. Where is it gone?
It'll be behind something. It's either the top of the screen or the bottom of the screen, and it's behind something.
Here it is.
Always is. There you go. There you go.
We're on fire. 2 in a row. So we were looking last week at Aussie CAD, and we were looking to trade it short as a result of not necessarily the 3 black crows sitting there, but the strength at which we broke through the bottom of the range. I won't say we were wrong, but we didn't get it right, but we'll come back to that. CAD Swiss, we were looking to trade CAD Swissy long as a result of a strong breakout of that range. Oh, that went the other way as well. Pound Kiwi, we were looking to trade this long as a bounce off the weekly pivot. Well, there's a tick there, but no entry for me. That was, of course, on Friday when the SH1T hit the fan because of our good friend Donald. And the last one was Euro Swissy. We were looking to trade Euro Swissy long. We actually got into this, I think. Was that last week or the week before? I can't remember. Anyway, every single chart I looked at on Euro Swissy, it looked as though it was going long, and monthly chart was not the least of those. So we were very, very patient and tried to get into the market as a result of those pullbacks that we actually did witness. It was a bit of a volatile week, I've got to say, on those currency pairs, but it was good fun having a look at them anyway. We got into a few trades, but only got TP1s. There's no follow through for us at the moment. It will come. It's just got to be a little bit patient. So a lot of TP1s, but not a lot of follow throughs. We're still in things like Euro Pound short. That's going okay. Swissy Yen short, I think we're still in that as well. But that's not going to be my focus this week, apart from managing them. So this hasn't gone away. I can't erase that, those 3 black crows there on Aussie CAD. So that's definitely still on my watch list. And that little double pump on the monthly pivot area there is very, very interesting as well. The one thing I can't reconcile is when I come back into a range, as we have done, I'm actually looking for a higher low, and maybe we've actually got that there now with this bar. I'm a little bit confused by that, and I'm not going to say it's going to keep me out of the market if I do get a setup short, but it's certainly going to keep me restricting my risk that I take on it. And the reason is because I strongly adhere to that higher low theory once we've come back in to a rectangular range or any range that you like to see. But we've also come back above that trend line and have retested that trend line, which of course is a trade line for me as well. And it wouldn't be the worst possible thing to do to place a long above that. The weekly pivot won't be there tomorrow. I haven't done the forward weekly pivots yet, so I'm not sure where the weekly pivot will be tomorrow, but it won't be here, obviously. It may well be very, very close to where the monthly pivot is, I would imagine, very, very close to there. So that would give this a bit more support as well. I may be looking at a long to get short here. So I'll have a good look at this. It won't be in the morning because I don't trade Monday mornings, but tomorrow afternoon when I start to do my analysis for the smaller time frames, I'll definitely be having a look at this, and I'll be of the opinion that we can maybe bounce up to here, hit the top of the range, come back underneath this trend line, and then start to look for the shorts, because I can't get that one out of my head. That's a very, very strong signal in my humble opinion. And if I look at the monthly chart and go a little bit wider, you can have a pretty good estimation that I may well be waiting a fair while to get this short in, because if this breaks to the high side, then it's probably going up to this level here. But if it doesn't, as I say, that's when I'll be looking to trade this short off a false break of either the trade line or the top of the rectangle. So it's going to be a long to get short if I do play the long, but I'm committed to the short if we do get up the top here and find that as a false break. So that's Aussie CAD. Nothing's really changed in terms of the bias since last week, but circumstances have meant that we may be going to the top here before we start to climb our way down. CAD Swissy was the second of the ones that I was interested in last week. Couldn't find a way in. And that was a little bit of the story of the week as well. I was basing this on the bounce off the monthly pivot and then break and bounce off the monthly pivot, and then the strong breakout of this little range that we're in. I thought that would go on with the job and certainly test the trend line here. No, back we go. And then, of course, we've come back to the weekly pivot of last week. So it was a little bit of a topsy-turvy ride. There's no question about that. Where to from here? Well, there's a couple of ways, again, to look at this. And I think that's pretty much a theme in the technical markets at the moment, certainly from where I sit. I'm seeing, as I said before, little breakouts and then straight back, little breakout, straight back. It's very, very difficult to get follow through at the moment. That's not a bad thing on the small time frames if you're in front of the charts at the right time, because if you see it come back in and find a little bit of a lower high, then obviously you can trade it to the bottom and vice versa. From here, it gets a little bit more tricky because we've got now indecision both high and low on the daily time frame. I'm not sure I can find and that extrapolates it remarkably well. You can see Friday's price action just crazy because of the Trump thing, of course. Yeah, I'm not sure, frankly, what happens intraday here, but nothing goes away. Similar to what I just said on Aussie CAD, I still see every time frame telling me that we could easily break to the high side here. Monthly pivot, not so much clearly there, but like I said last week, we have broken that little low here, come back above it and retested it. And if we look at the trend lines on the weekly chart, we're doing exactly the same thing, pulling back away from it, coming to it, pulling back away from it, coming to it, pulling back away from it. And that interests me, always interests me, because eventually, if we do go to these highs, I think we will break through and get something very, very nice. So I will be looking again to trade CAD Swissy long setups. Yeah, look, I'm happy to go pretty early, to be fair. Monthly pivot break and retest would be interesting, but as always, the best way to trade this is off support. So I'll be looking for maybe on the 4-hour chart. Can't see it happening early, but you never know. If we got a break here of a little trade line that comes through here, break underneath here, get back above, you can see where the pivots are. They're very, very close together. That suggests that we're not going too far too soon. So I may have to be, again, very, very patient with this and wait for a false break of support. But still there on CAD Swissy. Pound Kiwi. Yeah, look, very, very keen, again, to get back into this at some stage. We were in this for the longest time, Pound Kiwi long, until it turned around and came back on us. But I'm seeing pretty much a similar story that we saw last time, where we've come back inside the range. That's where we traded last time, down here. And we've done exactly the same thing here. Different candles, of course, on the monthly chart, but the net result is the same. We have come back into this, what I call a range, certainly an ascending channel, and we were looking for a way into this to go long again. Big reward potential, and that's why we're so keen to get back into this. I don't see it at the moment with that doji bar on the weekly chart of last week. The daily chart, of course, looks very much like it may have been a bounce off last week's weekly pivot. That has to be treated with caution. I'm sure you would have heard people throughout the show, because it took me so long to get in. I didn't hear a lot of analysis on the currency pairs, but I'm sure you would have heard somebody would have said that maybe Friday's bars are a little bit tricky given the circumstance. And of course, everybody knows what that was. So I would certainly subscribe to that theory. If nobody has raised it, then I'll raise it. I think that's probably a potential problem that we face tomorrow morning, where that reaction, or as a result of the Trump thing, may well be erased, or it may well be confirmed. Who knows? If he, I'm not wishing him ill, right? If he happens to succumb to coronavirus, then things will change very, very dramatically. There's no question about that. So how and why? Well, the why should be evident, and it's very, very clear to me. We've got a double bottom here as well. We've had a higher high now, and perhaps this is the higher low that we're looking for. There's nothing there for me to trade right now because I don't trade bull bars long as a rule. But if we were to get a break of that resistance trade line or trend line, which it is, something like that, take out the high, come back and retest there, that would be interesting. Far more interesting for me would be if we can find something down here on a smaller time frame, maybe the 4-hour time frame, something like, let's go with that. So get back underneath both of those won't be there tomorrow, right? But if we got underneath the trade line and then came back and retested it, then I think we've probably got a trade on our hands long. We're still looking for potentially that higher low, which may or may not be there right now on the daily chart. Don't know. It's a bit of a toss up. So I've sacked Euro Swissy at the moment. That doesn't mean I don't want to trade it when the opportunity arises, but this range seems to be very, very entrenched now. And maybe we need to range trade that for a bit until it becomes clearer exactly how we're going to get through this strong resistance level. I still think we can, and because I keep seeing these signals, this approach and pullback, I need to see that again before I get into a long. Perhaps I'm again better off waiting for support to break and then become a false break. Then we can go from down in this vicinity rather than trying to trade at the resistance area. So that's not on my watch list. So we've got Aussie CAD, CAD Swiss, Pound Kiwi, and I've added one, Kiwi CAD. This time I'm short. The reason I'm short is because we are at the very top, if you like, of this descending channel. Now, I don't need too much to trade this, frankly. I've got price hesitating, very, very clearly hesitating at this level. And all I really need to see is a duck underneath here and then a lower high, and then we're in business. That, of course, is the monthly chart. So we probably be waiting a fair while before that was to be the case. But we have ducked back inside it here, and we've retested that channel. That's not really a trade for me because the channel is a bit of a cloud of a price. And as you can see, it has been violated a couple of times as well. So I'm not really keen to trade that bar, but I would be definitely keen to trade something that does look like a lower high in this vicinity. Having had a sequence now of higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, lower low, and potentially lower high, this may well be again what I'm looking for. I don't see the way to trade that right now unless I was willing to take on that bar there. Maybe I am. But I probably think I'm not going to get that opportunity because, again, I won't be trading in the morning. I don't, as a rule. So it may have to wait till tomorrow afternoon. But that's definitely a clear indicator for me that there's two rejections of this level. Some people might even see that as a head and shoulders. There's definitely the hint of a left shoulder there, a head and a right shoulder. I'm okay with that if that's what you want to see. I'd like very much to see where the weekly pivot will be tomorrow. And again, I haven't done that, but I suspect it's going to be kind of in this vicinity here. Maybe a duck down and then a retest of that area, giving me the lower high that I want is what I'm looking for. And then maybe it becomes a confluence area where we get break above, not only duck below, but break above, then, or maybe even straight away break above, then ducks back underneath, retest that confluence area, wherever the weekly pivot is, and it won't be that far away. I think it'll be here somewhere. Then I think we've got a short on our hands for Kiwi CAD. So there you go. They're the 4 pairs: Aussie CAD, CAD Swiss, Pound Kiwi, and Kiwi CAD. They're the 4 that I'll be looking for: CAD Swiss long, Aussie CAD short, Kiwi CAD short, and the only one I'm looking for on the pound this week is for the Kiwi, against the Kiwi, and looking to join that long again that we were in for, as I said, the longest time last month, or was it the month before? I can't quite remember. It's that long ago. It was Saturday yesterday, I think.
Mate, I think it was Saturday. You say probably depends on where you were, mate. For some people, it was probably still Friday yesterday. You never know in different parts of the world. Mate, thank you very much for that. And I've been just doing a couple of things in the background while you've been doing it. Interesting time, and I think we might be heading for some range in the next few weeks. And if we have some range in the next few weeks, you will absolutely love that.
Bring it on.
I think there's an interesting setup on the NASDAQ that you'd quite like, but I'll leave you to have a look at that and see whether you like it or not. I think you might have one of your little false breaks of a trade line. I think you might enjoy getting into that, not too far away.
I'll have a yarn to Ash about that tomorrow.
Cool, mate. I've just actually messaged Ash about some other stuff as well. Obviously, team, we are heading into chit chat with Chloe to say good luck to her personally. We'll be in chit chat about 10 minutes to say goodbye to Chloe. To all of you who've joined us today, I want to thank you very much for your company. Hope you've got some stuff out of this which is actionable and usable and will help your trading for this week. Thanks to everybody who's asked questions today. I've loved the questions today. They've given us some good stuff to talk about. And if you are watching a recording back on this on YouTube or Facebook or anywhere else, congratulations. You know, I think we do it nice and early, so there was a chance to watch this for several hours from now and it'll still be very, very current. So if you've got to this point watching the replay, good on you. I hope you have a great trading week, guys. There's nothing different. Nothing changes. It is about making good decisions, and it's about making decisions based on what you see and not what you think. If you do it this week, you'll have a good week, in my opinion. And my encouragement for you guys is to really make that your goal for the week. You know, make good decisions based upon what you see, and if you do that, I think things will work out just great for you. Jeff, as always, granddad of the show, love to have you along, and thanks for taking the effort to get on. I know how frustrating it is when the technology won't work. You're not the only one. I know Helen couldn't get into YouTube, into Zoom today as well. A few others haven't managed to get in as well, and a couple having problems with the questions on YouTube as well. So I don't know what it is. But thanks for getting in. I really do appreciate it. And to all the people who have contributed, let me see if I can get this right today. We have had Chloe, and we've had Julian, and we've had Shukri, and we've had Ainsley, and we've had Lloyd, and we've had Ewan. Have I left anyone out? I don't think I have. Thanks, guys. We will see you guys and chit chat with Chloe reasonably soon, and have a good week. Talk to you soon. See you all.
Bye all.